All right, students, welcome to your virtual tour of Wil-Roc Farms in Kinderhook, New York. My name is Kelsey. I work with the American Dairy Association Northeast. I'm here to be your guide, and of course, Farmer Cody is here to be the expert. So before we get started, I want to make sure you guys have the best experience possible. First thing I want you to do, make your screen or your window as big as you possibly can. Get to see all the parts of the farm. We're going to see some awesome behind the scenes. Cody's going to take us over to the farm live. It's going to be great. Second thing I want to make sure you know is that you can use the question and answer feature in Zoom. Now, if you're joining via Facebook, you can always use the comment section. Or of course, if you're joining on YouTube, watch along. I promise your questions are probably going to get answered. Now, if we don't answer your question right away, it's probably because we know it's coming it up. We saw it, I promise. So it's coming, just hang tight. The last thing, of course, is we're gonna have some interactive portions of this tour. You're gonna have some quiz questions along the way, so make sure you're listening so you can do as good as possible on those quizzes. If you want more challenges, head out to our website, americandairy.com, where we have curriculum standards approved lesson plans, as well as additional tours. If you pop out to our YouTube playlist, we have over 20 tours of different farms. So we also have more tours coming up this spring that we would encourage you to join if you guys have time. Without further ado though, Cody, tell us a little bit about yourself and your farm.
Hi, welcome to our family's farm. We are a third generation dairy farm in the upper Hudson Valley of New York.
Awesome, awesome. Now, we're about to see some overhead footage here. How big of a farm? How many cows live here?
We have about 3,000 adult cows and 2,500 young stock, in addition to about 4,500 acres of cropland.
Okay, cool. That's a lot of land. What is most of that land doing?
The land is used to grow feed for the cows.
Oh, okay, got it. That makes a lot of sense. So we're seeing an overview flyover of the farm right now. Looks pretty darn cool to me, but I think we want to get started. So I think we're going to head over to the parlor first to check out milking. Right, Cody?
Yes.
All right. So jumping in, students, we're about to fly over to the milking parlor to check that out. Cody, tell us, first off, where does most of your milk go, or where would students find it in the grocery store? What types of products?
Our milk goes into fluid milk, yogurt, and ice cream.
Oh, okay. So those are lots of different choices. I mean, ice cream sounds kind of amazing. It is Valentine's Day. So, you can help support Cody here by grabbing some ice cream. All right, we've made it to the parlor. Tell us a little bit about what we're seeing.
We're seeing the cows come in, and the team member is starting the milking process, which is disinfecting and creating the first point of contact with the cow.
Oh, okay. So disinfecting the teats before we ultimately end up milking. Is there any other purpose to this process other than cleaning?
Yes, it provides the cow stimulation for milk letdown.
Oh, okay. So biologically speaking, this is a good thing to help the process be as natural as it can.
That's correct.
Okay, got it, got it. Now, how many employees do you have working in the parlor right now? And then also, how many on the farm total?
There are 3 employees in the parlor at all times during the milking shift, and there are around 45 total employees on the farm.
Gotcha. Now we're seeing this long row of cows on this one side. How many cows can you milk at one time?
There are 30 cows on each side, so a total of 60 cows in the parlor at once.
Okay, 60 cows at once. You said you have 3,000 cows total. Are these cows being milked one time a day?
The cows are milked 3 times every day.
Okay, 3 times every day. So students, you can do the math on that. How many rotations of the parlor, right? So we got 3,000 cows to milk 60 at a time. You'll know how many rotations of the parlor we need. Okay, so now we're checking out the attachment of the machine. I know, I'm curious, is it comfortable for the cows? What does that feel like?
It is comfortable for the cows. The machines are designed to provide a natural feel to the cow so that they're comfortable in the milking process.
Yeah, it seems to be most of them, once they get kind of just settled, they just stand there and don't really move around at all. That's pretty great. Now, in addition to that, you mentioned cows are milked 3 times a day. Does that mean they're like milking all day? How long does that take?
Milking takes about 5 minutes for 1 cow.
5 minutes per cow per milking?
Yes.
Okay, more math, students. 3 times 5, 15 minutes a day. So if we think about milking as these cows' job, they basically only have to work 15 minutes a day.
That's correct.
I mean, that seems pretty great. Now, this milk and this whole system that we're seeing looks like there's some computers and some technology going on here. How high tech are the systems that you use?
So each cow that is coming in to be milked is identified, and then the machine is tracking how much milk that the cow is producing, as seen on the screen there.
Okay.
And that is then put onto the cow's record for management purposes.
Okay, so you basically have a whole separate computer program that tracks all this data about these cows.
That's correct.
Okay, so what are we seeing? Like, what is this tracking right now?
That is the pounds that the cow has produced on this milking since she started milking. You can see it's still going up.
Oh yeah, okay. Okay, we don't usually think of milk in pounds. Students, I don't know about you, but I think of milk in gallons. So how many pounds of milk are these cows making every day?
These cows are making about 80 to 85 pounds of milk per day.
Okay, so now for the conversion factor, there's about 8.6 pounds of milk in a gallon. So we're talking like 10 gallons-ish?
Yep, about 10 gallons of milk.
10 gallons every day, 3,000 cows. That's a lot of milk. Now, of course, you said some of your milk goes to make ice cream. And then do you know about how many pounds of milk it takes to make ice cream?
For a gallon of ice cream?
For a gallon of ice cream.
Yeah. It takes about, that's actually a tough math question.
A tough math question, students will report back. So we're seeing these milking machines that they come off automatically. How does that work? Do they sense when the cow is done?
Yes, they're sensing the flow of milk, and then when the flow drops below a certain amount of pounds per minute,
okay,
they will come off.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's pretty cool. Now we're seeing after the milking process, what are we seeing here?
We are seeing them apply a disinfectant and a like a lotion to the skin.
Okay.
Both helps the cow's skin recover from the milking process and also protects them from germs post-milking.
Wow, very cool. Okay, now another question that we have. So we saw all that milk, it's flowing through all these tubes. What happens to it as it leaves the cow and goes through these pipes? Where's the next stop?
The milk comes into a vat and then is cooled through it's called a plate cooler, and then loaded onto the truck.
So how long does it take from the time these cows are milked until, let's say, some of our students might get some milk at the grocery store?
It takes approximately 48 hours.
Okay, wow, very quick. So students, that's a very short amount of time. Milk, very, very, very fresh. What happens if it's not going to fluid milk? So what happens to the milk after it leaves the farm?
The milk goes to a manufacturing plant,
okay,
where it's turned into a product and then put into the distribution system.
Gotcha. Those cows look so relaxed. They're just hanging out. So I think we're going to see next how that actually happens as all that milk kind of travels through the pipes. So how are you making this milk? You've mentioned a cooling system. How warm is the milk when it leaves the cow, though?
The milk is around 95 degrees when it leaves the cow, and then we cool it down to 35 degrees within like less than a minute from when it leaves the cow.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so right away, cool down. Now, why is that? Why do you bother to cool it?
The faster milk is cooled, the higher quality, the less chance of any growth of any bacteria.
Got it. Okay. Safety, cleanliness, quality, all those reasons. Okay, cool. So we're seeing all the behind the scenes now of where this milk is flowing through. That's pretty neat. Now, as I understand it, farmers are pretty good recyclers. You mentioned that your cooler that we're going to see here is cooled by water. Now, is that recycled water? Where is that coming from?
Yes, so there's two sides to it. One is water that is coming from a well, but then is sent to the cows. It's recycled as water for the cows. And then the other side is a refrigerated liquid that is essentially in a continuous refrigeration loop.
Oh, very cool. Okay, so no water is wasted, used at least twice.
Correct. In addition, the heat from the milk is used to heat hot water on the farm.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Okay, so a full energy system, making sure you're recapturing as much as possible. Very cool. Now, I think too, we're gonna see over to where the farm or where the milk is directly loaded onto the trucks. Now, you're not keeping like a big tank. Oh, wait, actually, sorry, we're seeing the testing. So tell us about this. This looks cool.
Yes, every load of milk that leaves the farm is tested throughout the loading process. And then that sample is sent to a lab to be checked for different quality checkpoints of milk.
Okay, so you're telling me every single load of milk that leaves the farm is tested for antibiotics, for quality components, all of that. So nothing leaves the farm. Now, like what happens, for example, if something pops up on one of those tests? Does that milk still go? Does it go to something else? What happens?
Any milk that didn't meet the quality standard would be immediately rejected at the farm.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so like down the drain.
Correct.
Done. Okay, got it. So every single load of milk as it leaves the farm, totally safe, antibiotic free. Got it. Those are some big tankers. Okay, how much milk does each of those tankers hold?
These tankers hold about 8,000 gallons of milk.
8,000 gallons. So folks and students, when you see those tankers on the road, just think about how many gallons that is inside of there. Now, we've got your quiz questions. You guys do your quiz and we'll meet you back, Cody. We're headed to the cow barn next to see where the cows spend the rest of their day besides their 15 minutes being milked. All right, students, I hope you got all of those correct. I think you guys did. We are going to head over to our next farm tour stop, which is the cow barn. And I have had some questions coming through for Farmer Cody about some of his cows, but we're going to move over from the parlor and zoom right into where the cows spend all of their time. Now, Cody, you mentioned that there's 3,000 cows. How old are most of these cows?
On average, the cows are around 5 to 6 years old.
Okay, and then when are they considered an adult?
At 2 years old.
At 2 years old. Okay, so that's like their version of turning 18. Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. Now, what are we seeing? These look like, I mean, really big, open, airy type barns. You know, do the cows enjoy it? Why are they inside?
This barn is called a freestall barn. And the idea of a freestall barn is the cows can move around on their own and intermix with the rest of the herd as they please. But the barn is designed for kind of their maximum comfort in mind. So we're trying to control the environment for temperature, moisture, cleanliness of where they're lying, all of those things.
Oh, wow. Okay, very cool. We're checking out some of our cows now. Looks like we've got some red and white and black and white cows. What is the difference between the two?
These cows are different breeds. We mostly have Holstein cows on our farm, but we also have some Jersey and Guernsey cows. This is a Guernsey cow that is red on the screen right now.
Now, we see some of our cows getting a nice full drink of water. How much water will a cow drink in a day?
Cows drink around 40 gallons of water a day.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of water. But I guess that kind of makes sense because milk is a high percentage of water. So they got to drink a lot of water to make milk. Oh my gosh. And look at all these cows in your barn right now, just laying down and relaxing. Tell us a little bit about what they're laying on.
This product they're laying on is a solid fiber source that we make on farm. And it provides a nice comfy place for the cow to lay down.
Awesome. Now, how many hours a day do we want these cows to be laying down? Right now, they're definitely giving me lazy vibes.
Cows lay down on average 14 hours per day.
Oh my gosh. So 14 hours is what you want them to nap, basically.
That's the goal, 14 hours of napping.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're seeing the barns. They look like they have these clear sides or kind of open sides. So can you tell us about why they're structured like that and why you choose to build them that way?
The barns are built this way to control the amount of air coming into the barn from outside. And that's done through a thermostat and essentially regulates the air temperature inside the barn.
Oh, wow. So that's all automated.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so just like our thermostats at home, when it gets too cold, maybe the curtains will shut. Or when it gets warm, the curtains will open.
Correct.
Now, what temperature do cows like it to be?
Cows have a big range of temperature that they're comfortable in, but anywhere from 20 to 65, 70 degrees.
Gotcha. Okay, so they like it a little bit chillier than I do. Now we're seeing some cow feed. What do cows mostly eat?
Cows eat primarily there are two main portions of their diet, one being forages and the other being grains. Forages are things like corn and hay, where grains are items like wheat or minerals or vitamins that are brought onto the farm.
Okay, got it. So now when we think of eating corn, I'm thinking of a nice corn on the cob. I don't think that's what those cows are eating. What is their corn?
Cows may like that too, but that doesn't provide the best nutrition to them.
Gotcha.
They generally are eating corn in the form of the entire plant, cut up into about 1-inch pieces.
Okay.
Or the grain part of corn or the kernel, ground up into a fine powder.
Gotcha. And we're seeing some of these cows rocking some pretty cool jewelry here. Tell us a little bit about maybe our necklaces and earrings that we're seeing.
Much like any of us would wear a Fitbit, our cows have a necklace that keeps track of their movement, how often they're chewing, along with some other features of their health. This allows us to take care of each cow in an individual way on the farm.
Gotcha. Okay, so all that data is basically picked up when they go to the parlor, reports back there, allows you guys to see if a cow isn't feeling well, maybe?
Yep, our team will be alerted if a cow is not feeling well based on what the necklace that they're wearing is telling them. And then they will go and find that cow and take care of whatever is bothering them.
Gotcha. Now, for some of that too, you said you have team members do that. Do you also work with a veterinarian?
We do. We have a herd veterinarian that assists our team members in making sure that they're giving proper care to the cow.
Oh, very cool. Okay, now you mentioned how many people work here total on the farm?
About 45. About
45. Okay, students. So as you start to think about career options, lots of different things to do on a farm, whether it be animal related, technology related. We've seen some other machinery and stuff, but looks like we're heading over to see how your feed is mixed up. So we saw those cows, it kind of looks like almost like a casserole. What are we seeing here on the screen as far as their different feed components?
This is a barn that we use to store some of the feed that's going to the cows. Being the cows are fed 2 times a day, there's a ton of work goes into feeding them. These feeds are mixed with the forages that we grow on our farmland to balance a cow's diets to her needs.
Oh, okay. Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Now, I've heard too that cows are really good recyclers themselves. So what are some maybe foods that they are good about recycling or that they can eat that maybe humans don't use?
We are constantly using food waste from other products for human feed. Things like tofu byproduct, candy meal, citrus pulp, which is from the byproduct of making different fruits, juices, amongst other things.
Okay, so basically, when all the leftover chocolate from Valentine's Day today might find its way to a farm, cows won't be disappointed.
Yeah, our cows generally like the post Valentine's Day weeks, since all that extra candy makes it back to them.
Okay, very cool. And of course, now we think for people, we don't want to eat too many candy bars, right? But how many pounds of food is a cow eating a day?
Cows eat 120 pounds of feed a day.
Okay, so maybe one candy bar a day isn't so bad for them. But it sounds like you guys actually work with a professional. So who is that helps you kind of balance what the cows need?
Yes, we have a nutritionist that works very closely with our team on a regular basis to make sure that the blend of feeds that we're putting in front of the cow are correct for what she needs to not only sustain her, physical health, but also her milk production.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so basically kind of like pro athletes, right? They have a full diet or nutritionist balancing their food for the highest performance and optimal health.
Yep, that's correct.
That's pretty awesome. Okay, students, you got some quiz questions to answer. When we're back, we're going to see the calves. Do your best and we'll catch you at the calf barn. All right, students, hopefully you got all those questions correct. And we are just about ready to head off and over to the calf barn. Now, Cody, these are probably my favorite thing to see on a farm is the calves. So we're gonna zoom out from the barn and head right over to where all your calves live. Now, an important part that I always forget about kind of with dairy farms is in order for a cow to produce milk, she has to have a calf, right? That has to happen every year.
That's correct.
Now, how long is the gestation period or how long are cows pregnant?
About 9 months.
Oh, okay. So the same as humans. Oh my gosh. We are seeing some adorable calves over on the farm this morning. Okay. Tell us about these calves. How old are they? How big are they?
These calves we're going to see here are anywhere from a couple days to a couple weeks old. When they're born, they're about 80 pounds. Okay. But they gain about 2 pounds each day. So some of these calves we'll see will be more than 80 pounds.
Oh my gosh. Okay. 2 pounds a day. What are you feeding them?
Calves are fed milk and some what we call calf grade, which is their vitamins, minerals, and the other aspects of a diet they need to make up alongside the milk.
Got it. So how much milk are each of these calves drinking every day? I know how much milk I drink in a day, but.
They're fed about 8 quarts of milk every day.
Okay. Okay. Now we're seeing the calves in these little, they look like igloos. Tell me about why they live here and why they work for them.
Calves are kept in individual pens to protect them from illness. Spread illness between different herd mates and various things. We keep them all separate up until a certain point of age.
Oh, okay. Got it. We're seeing some of that calf grain on the screen. It doesn't look particularly appetizing to me, but she seems to be enjoying herself. Now, with these calves, we're seeing the ear tags already in. What exactly are the numbers on there? Do your cows have names?
The number is the calf's identification, and that number will stay with them for their entire life. Those tags will stay with them for their entire life. So it's very similar to their driver's license or their name.
Got it. And of course, I'm assuming too, they kind of remind me of piercing your ears. So not super painful to put those tags in, or not painful at all, really.
No, it's
okay. And we're seeing now this milk that you're feeding to the calves. Is that milk from the cows? Is it milk replacer? Where does that come from?
This milk came from the cows on the farm.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, how many team members does it take to take care of all of your calves?
We have 3 team members that spend all of their time working with the baby calves.
Okay. And then, okay, 3,000 cows. How many calves are born every day?
We have 5 to 8 calves born each day.
5 to 8 calves every day. So you must have a full-time person just helping with the birthing process.
We do. We have a team member on farm 24 hours a day to assist with any birthing or newborn calf care.
Oh my gosh, that's really incredible. Now, when does a calf become an adult cow? You said, I think 24 months?
24 months.
Okay. And then why then would you split up the calves according to their age? It looks like they're all kind of staying together.
Yeah, a calf has different needs as they get older and go through their lifespan. So
okay.
they're kept with calves of similar age or in the area of calves of similar age to
okay.
make it easier for our team members to provide the proper care for them.
Got it. So I know a lot of people too probably wondering, we've been talking about it, it's all cows on the farm or girl, female animals. What happens when you have a boy calf that's maybe not going to re-enter the herd in 2 years?
The male calves are sold to another farm that raises them.
Okay. Okay. Very cool. Now, we had another question come in, which is how long do these calves live? So how old will they grow up to be?
On average, they will grow up to be 6 to 7 years old. But many will live to be 11, 12, or 13 years of
okay.
age.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Now, how many calves would you have? I think you said it earlier, over 2,000 young stock. So
yes.
What does the term young stock mean to a farmer like you?
Young stock is essentially any non-milking animal that's raised on the farm.
Oh, okay. Okay. So basically before they're in that milking process, they're considered young stock. Got it. Now, of course, some cows may either stop producing or grow old. What happens to those animals maybe after they're not necessarily productive on the farm anymore?
Those animals are sold into beef production.
Okay. So they have a career change, ultimately end up in a different part of the food system. Got it. That makes sense. We've had another couple of questions come in, one of which was how many calves do you have on the farm total? We shared that. So what's the difference between like a calf and a heifer, for example? Just to clarify for our students.
Generally, a calf is an animal that's under 3 to 4 months of age is referred to as a calf. And then as they get past that, closer to a year old, they're considered a heifer.
Okay, gotcha. And then once they have a calf, they're considered a cow.
That's correct.
Got it. So lots of different names in between. So one of the other questions that was coming in here, a fun one for Valentine's Day we'll throw in is, does some of your milk to go to make ice cream sandwiches?
Absolutely, it does. On our farm, we make our own ice cream, and some of that ice cream is made into ice cream sandwiches.
Oh, that's awesome. And a perfect treat for Valentine's Day. Okay, students, you have one more quick quiz. we're going to meet you back here to answer the last of your questions and thank Farmer Cody. So do your best on your quiz and we'll catch you here. All right, students, I think you got all those right. I have a good feeling about it. So we're going to check out some of the last overview footage of the farm before we head you off for the rest of your Valentine's Day. Of course, I want to remind you that we have other resources. We have other tours besides just Cody's farm. We actually have over 20 other dairy farms if you want to see what they're up to and what they're about. We also have free lesson plans that are curriculum standards approved if you want to test more of your knowledge. But Cody, we had a couple of last minute questions come in that I want to make sure we answered. One of which is, how much does a full grown cow weigh?
A full grown cow is approximately 1,500 pounds.
Big animals, definitely. And of course, how many different breeds or different types of cows are there? I'll give you a smaller range. How many different dairy breeds? So ones that are predominantly for producing milk.
I think there's 5.
Yeah, 5 or 6?
5 or 6.
Okay.
Like I said, we have 3 on our farm, but primarily just 1 Holstein.
Got it. That makes sense. Okay, so students, you have been awesome today. We appreciate you joining us. Cody, thank you so much for taking the time. Anything else you want to share with our students before we head them on the rest of their day?
Thank you guys for visiting and supporting our family's farm.
Awesome. So of course, if you happen to be in the Kinderhook area, you can always stop by Cody's farm. And of course, if you're popping by today, grab a Valentine's Day ice cream treat. Be sure to include dairy in your day. So we hope to see you next time on one of our other spring tours and hope that you have a great rest of the day.